welcome back to another edition of Christopher's Kitchen, and today we take it to another country with a classic Greek pastry. And we're going to show you how to use phyllo dough to make that happen. Christopher Lampeau, take us through it.
Phyllo dough, Mike. It's a lot of people get it confused with puff pastry, but it comes in a little box like this. You can get it in your grocery store. It's in the section with the pie crust and puff pastry and all that kind of stuff. What this is very, very thin pastry. Okay, it's actually, the idea actually is Turkish. The Turkish came up with the first pies, but the Greeks perfected this dough system so you get it in thin paper sheets. Look at that right there. And phyllo in Greek means leaf. Today for hors d'oeuvres, we're only using 2 layers of this phyllo dough. But for a big strudel, something like that, you might want to use 6 or 7 layers. And also, of course, the classic apple strudel. This would work too. Some fresh sauteed apples with cinnamon. Cooled down place right in here. Place a second sheet right on top of that. See, I'll just place that second sheet just there. And that gets butter too. Now, see that second sheet? You can really start going. Just like that. Today on this recipe, we're using some diced onions, spinach that's been drained, using a little fresh mint. I like to use dill, but I couldn't find any of that, so I'm using some fresh mint. A little flour, a few beaten eggs, and some feta cheese. Just buy this at the grocery store. I'm going to start off with a little bit of olive oil, some butter. Going to have our onions here. I'm not measuring this out, but you'll do a better job of that. Nice onions. You can add garlic to this too if you like. You just cook these down until they're nice and tender. Now I've just cooked these onions just until they're tender, and we'll take these right over. I'm going to add them to our drained spinach. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to put a little squeeze of lemon juice in there. Okay, so now I've got my spinach, my onions. I'm going to add some of our feta cheese. All right. Okay, going to add a touch of flour. That'll help bind those eggs and stuff. And 4 beaten eggs. And some fresh mint. Already put some lemon juice in there, so that's great. I'm going to stir this up. Especially, again, I mean, really, I'd put on a pair of rubber gloves and really get in there with your hands. That's the best way to do it. Really want to mix this up. Get it nice and combined, and then we'll be ready to fill our phyllo dough. Today I'm making little hors d'oeuvres. Okay, these are going to be little triangle-shaped pastries. I'm going to do a couple like that. Just want to take your buttered phyllo dough, cut it in a strip. Now I use 2 layers here. So I put down 1 layer, buttered it, and put down another layer. Now I've got our mix ready, and the phyllo is cut here. Just going to do little appetizers today. Just a little spoon of this, just like that. Okay. Now these are for hors d'oeuvres, but if you want to do a bigger one, you could. It'd be great for lunch. I'll make you one big one too. So you just roll them just like a flag. Just like that, and then we'll put those on a sheet pan and bake them at about 400 degrees. Just a little butter on top. This dough does dry out quickly, so you got to work quickly with it a little bit. Okay, and we'll bake those about 400 degrees until that. Now you see this big one here? Because that, when I roll these little ones, they have a lot of layers because I'm not using much filling. This has not as many layers, so for a big one like that, you might want to use 4 or 5 layers of pastry to make it nice and thick and crusty. You know, you've seen these hors d'oeuvres before. I just wanted you really to see the phyllo dough and not be scared of that. Not confuse it with puff pastry, which is it's a different dough altogether. See, very light and flaky. They're nice because they get all over people at parties. So if you wanted to laugh at people, they have stuff all over them.
This is it. Very tasty. Yeah, you can sure taste how important the butter is in that process as well.
Absolutely. And this big one would be great with a salad or a soup or something like that.
It's great filling too. If you'd like to get these recipes and using phyllo dough and a number of varieties, as you mentioned earlier,
tons of stuff you can do.
Everything you can do to put that in there, just go to the featured links page at kbtx.com, click onto the food page. That's where you will find the recipe for Christopher's Kitchen and all the recipes that we feature from time to time. Make it a great day. Until next time, for Christopher Lampeau, I'm Mike Wright.